Paul Gagne lost his job at the mill, he turned his love for moose into a thriving souvenir business.
Worked in the paper company for 30 years, and at the end of my career there, I bought a laser and started coming up with a product line. The moose probably is my #1 seller right now. I went to Greenville, and there's a log company there that makes log cabins, and they really bought quite a few pieces. They're going to be giving them to the people that are buying log cabins, and because it's such a good fit, you know, wildlife and logs.
There's a membrane on this form, and you just scrape this off.
Ray Fraser knew exactly what he was going to do when he got laid off.
With the mill, it's an industry like everything else. It's kind of iffy. My dad and I started about 12 years ago. We read some books, and this was really something I really enjoyed, and just expanded more onto it as time went on. We actually mount them for people that don't even hunt them. We actually buy moose capes and antlers and put them together. We've sold them all over the world, actually. I've got a couple hanging in a restaurant in Australia. We've got out in Colorado a couple, so they kind of go all over the world. Up on the wall, just something that kind of draws attention to everything.
Moose have helped many families survive and stay in Maine during hard times. But that success has yet to impress many business and civic leaders still searching for ways to recover from the mill closings.
I think that we have to perhaps set a priority. And the priority in this area is the forest products industry.
The forest products industry has priority not because they plan on increasing production or creating new jobs. It's because they own the vast majority of the land used by hunters and tourists. So they call the shots.
As long as there is a healthy respect for the forest products industry and the large landowners who allow people almost unfettered use of their land for hunting, fishing, sightseeing, or whatever, as long as that respect is maintained, I think tourism can continue to grow here, and I think it should grow here. But it should not be looked at as a replacement for the forest products industry.
Millinocket was hit especially hard. Millions of dollars and years of research have produced no clear answers. But instead of waiting for the logging and paper industries to recover, some people believe Millinocket's future belongs to the area's main attraction.
There are incredible assets here in Millinocket, and one of the greatest assets is the wildlife. And the moose, of course, is the most prominent, and at least if you're an outsider like me coming into this town, this is the great highlight of coming here.
Michael Schumann is a consultant for Millinocket, helping plan the town's economic recovery.
The fact that a big paper mill was plunked in the middle of this area 100 years ago and became the organizing principle of the economy meant that all other ideas of economic development were kind of shunted to the side. And so the moose really get in the way of the paper mill. They get in the way of the paper trucks, they get in the way of people driving to their jobs, they get in the way of the use of the forest because environmentalists want to protect the moose rather than allow the logging. For I think many people here who see their livelihood tied up in the paper industry, the moose are an obstacle to that continued way of life. Well, surprise, not the moose, but the world economy has taken down the paper mill industry here. The paper mill here in Millinocket, the building I'm standing in front of, is shut down. I think everyone here realizes that the paper mills are really living on borrowed time. Were the town to build other kinds of support infrastructure for moose fanatics like me, everything from moose paraphernalia shops to moose-centered hotels, moose-centered restaurants, more of us would flock here on a regular basis, and it could be a real driver for the economy.
One place that's letting moose drive the economy is Greenville, only about an hour away.
It's a 5K race in which we hope to increase business opportunities in the community, as well as bringing people in to see the area for tourism, so that we let people know that we're a four-season destination for recreation.
Unlike Millinocket, Greenville never was a mill town. They chose to build their economy around hunting and tourism.
In rural communities in Maine, if you're not involved with the town and with the hospital and the school all working together, then it's pretty tough to have a vibrant community.
While Greenville's economy is in better shape than Millenockett's, there's also an ominous trend. Developers are now buying thousands of acres from the logging companies to build private homes, resorts, and other tourist attractions. That's the good news. The bad news is that many new landowners, some from outside the state, are cutting off public access to their property. Many residents are afraid moose could eventually be sealed off from public view, and the North Woods turned into a private playground for the rich. The change could have dramatic consequences for the area's delicate natural balance and precious traditions. One of those traditions is the hunt. Every autumn, thousands of hunters come here from all over the world. The hunt is now carefully regulated. Only a limited number of permits is given out, and they must be won in a lottery. The winner of a permit is allowed to shoot one moose. But one is enough for those who come here looking for a prize bull.
Jason! What was that?
1,000 even.
1,000 even. Holy, 1,000 pounds. Hot dog, good job. Awesome.
We get about 73,000 people last year who applied for an opportunity to hunt moose in Maine, and 20,000 of those people came from out of state. And it's a big economic impact to communities like Greenville, where you get, thousands of people coming in for the week.
2 guys on it, put the chain on the front rack, and Randy was driving it. We tied his antlers up off the ground on the back of the rack and right down that skidder road, 400 some odd yards.
Wow.
The moose hunt has a mystical, almost ritual-like aura. Non-hunters gather to watch the season's harvest come in. They join the hunters in celebrating their conquests. But while local residents revel in this rite of fall, for state officials, it's serious business.
From a department standpoint, hunting is how we manage wildlife populations. And we issued a number of permits in order to keep the population at a certain level.
Moose hunting is not much of a sport. Moose are reclusive, but not particularly afraid of people.
He was beside the road. He was chasing a cow. And he stopped because he was chasing her, and I just happened to find him.
The most effective ways to hunt moose are to call one out by imitating one, or simply drive around until you spot one, stop, and shoot it.
Big as they are, big as a house, they stand 30 yards away and they don't even see them. It's amazing.
But since hunting resumed, the percentage of hunters who kill a moose has dropped from 96 to 80. No one's sure why.
People are seeing fewer moose, which is the only real indicator we have is a number of moose seen per hour. We ask the hunters to do this. We kind of have a captive audience to give them a questionnaire. There is some problems with that in that the forest is growing up, but also just to the south of the woods, the road accidents per mile traveled, and I put it on, rate it to amount of traffic, has also dropped off in the last few years. And in addition, some studies in New Hampshire have indicated that they were having very poor calf survival, and we've had primarily in Maine anecdotal information, because we don't have collared animals out at the moment, would suggest that people are seeing a lot more dead young moose.
And as more land is sold to developers, less land is available for hunting. Maine could lose more tradition and control of the herd as well. The ease with which moose can be shot also makes them popular targets for poachers. And as more of the North Woods is shut off, many Mainers are afraid this crime against both them and moose will only get worse.
I don't see any sign of a bullet wound on this side. Right there looks like where it got pushed in, see?
Sergeant Roger Gay is a state game warden. His game is poachers.
I think they took the head off in it and brought it up around. I think that's all it's missing is the head. And every year we will have moose that are shot for their antlers, shot and left, and just their antlers are taken. We had one incident a couple of years ago where we had 9 moose that were shot and left. Poaching is a very prevalent thing, and you're talking animals that are 800, 900 to 1,000 pounds. For poachers, they provide a very good opportunity, and so it's a constant battle for us. It requires a lot of hard work, a lot of patrol time, a lot of investigative work, making cases, and it can be quite a task to try to run these poachers down and prosecute them for their crimes. What corner of the world am I heading to?
To show you how pervasive the problem is, watch what happens when Roger makes a seemingly routine license check.
Where'd you shoot him from? Who shot him, I should say. You did? Yeah, where were you when you shot him? Up the road or up on the hill coming down or the other way? Right here? Yeah, were you coming up the road or coming down? Coming down the hill, yeah. Well, I'll check your license then real quick. What did you use for a gun?
6mm.
Where is it? Right here?
I believe my dad had it somewhere.
Oh, sick.
Oh.
Where is it? Behind the seat. Okay, I'll just check that real quick. Yeah. Very good. How long ago did you shoot him?
Oh, how long ago? An hour and a half, 2 hours? Couple hours.
Couple hours ago.
Had to go sit down here. Go get the trailer.
Yeah. You fired from up the hill, shooting down.
Yeah.
Very good. Looks like the hard part's over now.
Oh yeah, where you got the pin in?
Yeah. You're close. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Alrighty.
I'm gonna let them pick up their stuff and leave, and then I just want to look the scene over, see how this all went down, see if their story matches.
Okay, let's go. Back. Search. Where's the gun? Find it, buddy.
Basically, he's looking for anything with human scent, gunpowder or brass. Right up close. Show me. Show me. Another moose was killed here, but where they killed it, they didn't dress it off, they drug it away. Pool of blood there, hair right here. One of them went down here. I want to go back and get, if it stops raining, look that over a little more.
Right there, right here, here.
We treat these scenes just as important as a homicide. The same tools are used, whether it's casting, photography, recording, distance, measurements, everything that's done the same way on these scenes as would on a homicide or an armed robbery or anything like that.
You got it. That blood right there is the other moose. It starts from there and goes up. That's why the wheeler hooked onto it. If you start here and look at that site there, you look in there, it has the appearance of a four-wheeler. Yeah, it does, right here.
Shell casing right there. That is what gets us in the game.
Did you guys see the guys that had the moose dead here?
There two. Cow appeared and pulled down.
Okay, you saw them? Okay, we need to talk then. Si c'est marqué, y a-tu les signes pour dire chasse pas ici?
Je sais pas si je sais pas, j'ai pas trop remarqué les pancartes.
Could you do me a favor and check if a fella by the name of Raymond Began from Auburn has his if his moose is hanging out there? Basically what we have is a situation where two moose were killed by the same party. Potentially we're looking at probably 2 to 3 charges of $1,000, 3 days in jail, loss of the weapon, and so on. Wildlife crimes in particular tend to be thought of as victimless crimes. Animals are taken and poached, and who does it hurt? It hurts all of us as people of the state of Maine. These moose were killed illegally. They should be running wild at this point. So it affects the whole spectrum, from people who want to see moose to people who want to hunt moose legally. I guess the message in this situation is that no matter the harder you try to hide and conceal your poaching, we're going to be right behind you to make sure that we've got the tools and the technology to figure out what you did. we will be landing on your doorstep.
The reason moose get special protection and privileges in Maine is economic, but their economic value would not exist if not for the spiritual relationship moose have with the people of Maine and millions around the world.
Some of the Native Americans from this area, they believe even still today that when you die, that the moose is the carrier of the soul. You can bond with a moose. Once you truly bond with a moose, they never forget you for the rest of their lives. I was able, once I truly bonded with them, to be able to sit in the middle, let's say in a tree cut, and have 4 or 5 of them right around me feeding with no problem whatsoever, because I was not aggressive, and they sensed that about me. They also sensed that I was, not that I was not afraid of them, but that I had respect. And that's the most important thing. You should never ever lose your respect and forget that you are in their territory and you are a guest.
And like any good host, moose can be great entertainers. Mating season in autumn is when moose are most exciting and unpredictable. Like most animals, there's a madness to their method. The difference is when small animals are mating, you usually don't notice. When a half-ton hormone-crazed mammal is mating, or fighting it, stand back.